Greetings, it's Ian from RTO here. Welcome to another Battle of the Debuts, and we are continuing our look into power metal, symphonic metal bands. We've got a really unusual one today. It's two Dutch-based bands, and they featured the same guitarist, believe it or not. The bands we're talking about are After Forever and Epica. And as usual, the band that comes first goes first, and in this case it is After Forever. Now, they were formed in 1995 under the name of Apocalypse, and they were originally a death metal cover band with very harsh, growly male vocals. But in 1997, vocalist Floor Jansen, who went, of course, on to become the singer in Nightwish, joined the band, and their style and sound shifted towards more the symphonic gothic metal to give emphasis on her voice. In contrast, we still had the grunts and grin screams by Sander Gomez and Mark Jansen, who is no relative to Floor. Now, Mark Jansen is the guitarist of the band, and they changed their name to the song After Forever for Black Sabbath in 1999. They were around till 2000, and they've made 2 or 3 albums, I think 4 or 5 albums, something like that. We will be looking at them later on, probably more in 2024. But today we're going to look at their debut album, which was Prison of Desire, that was released in the year 2000. And the album contains the four installments of a thing called The Embrace That Smothers, a collection of songs written by Mark Jansen, who sort of carried it over to Epica, which we'll learn about a little bit later. So, the band at the time were Floor Jansen on vocals, Mark Jansen on guitar and grunts, Sander Gomans on guitar and grunts, Jack Dresen on keyboard, Luc van Gerven on the bass, Joep Beckers on drums. We've got additional singers on here, Sharon Adele on Beyond Me, and the album was produced by Hans Peters and Dennis Leedjammer. And we got also Sharon J. Eldon Dan, of course, is a singer with metal band Within Temptation. So the first track on here is called Mea Culpa, which is the Embrace That Smothers Prologue. It's just one of them mystique sort of symphony metal intros, grandeur. It's really good, and that goes straight into the Embrace That Smothers Part 1, which is called Leaden Legacy. A real sultry start to this. The keyboards are really good and very that symphonic sound that I love of symphonic rock. Eerie and ambient. Speeds up, some great playing here by Mark Jansen. Floor is just fantastic. She only has to open her mouth for me, and she's great. Get the odd grunt from Mark and Sander. It's a pretty good track. It's very the combination of the soprano and the grunts does work. Then we have a track called Semblance of Confusion. This is brilliant. This is Floor Jansen at her best. That sound. You got the choir as well. Some great drumming and riffs. Wonderful stuff. Black Tomb. Very powerful. The guitar riffs are so strong. Great keyboards. It's just an epic. Great little track. Then we get Follow in the Cry, which is the Embrace That Smothers Part number 3. It's actually my favourite track on this one. It's got that medieval gothic feel to it with the keyboards, lovely ambience, lovely vocals, as ever. It's just a great epic little track. It's only 4 minutes, but it's of an epic scale. Then we get Silence from Afar. Again, Floor is a killer vocal on here, so ambient, atmospheric, really well put together, really good track. Then we get a track called Inimical Chimera. The drumming in this is outstanding. The riffs between Mark and Sander are brilliant, absolutely killer track. Love this track. It defines the word symphonic power metal for me. Then Tortuous Threnody. These words they come up with. It's all grunts and atmospheric. And then you get the angelic voice of Floor. Really good. Yield to Temptation, which is the Embrace That Smothers Part 3. Choral Monks. Feels like you're in a monastery. In come the heavy riffs. Great guitar work here from Mark and Sanders. Absolutely fantastic song. Even the grunts sound fitting with this. Then Ephemeral, a really nice track here. Lovely singing from Floor. It's very atmospheric. Then we get Beyond Me. Now I've never been a fan of grunts. I really haven't. I think it's not singing, but with the combination of the grunts and Floor, it actually sounds, you know, there's this chalk and cheese effect here. It really goes. You can understand what they're saying on this one. It's a very solid track to a very good album. I like this track. There's not a bad track on it. There really isn't. It's very hard when you get they're great musicians. Floor is just a fantastic singer. We all know that. Mark is a very good guitarist as well. It's a well put together album, and I love playing. I love symphonic metal, and I love playing this. So that's what I thought of it. What do the critics think? Well, there's not much written about this, unfortunately, which really saddens me. But in 2021, it was elected by Metal Hammer as the 6th best symphonic metal of all time. I know it didn't chart, not even in Holland. But there was a few. There were the ratings I found. All Music gave it 3 stars, and Chronicles of Chaos, I love the title of that, gave it a 8.5. So let's have a look at the nuts and bolts of Prisoners of Desire. Song quality, absolutely fabulous songs, well written, well constructed, and fantastically delivered. 5 out of 5 for me on that. Production, a fantastic production. Symphonic metal albums are always fantastic production. Sounds absolutely crisp and clear. So that is definitely another 5 out of 5. Reception, not much written about it, but they are one of those great symphonic metal bands that if you're into the music, you love them, and I've never heard anyone say a bad thing about this band. That love it. So I'm going to give it a 4 just on fans and what I think of them. So cover design, I love the picture, but it's the font and colour that lets it down. You can barely see it. The name of the album, I love the picture. It's absolutely fantastic. I think it needed to be a more brighter colour or something a bit bolder, fluorescent colour or something, just to bring out the title and what it's all about. So I'm going to give that a 4 out of 5, which gives us a grand total for After Forever's Prisoner of Desire, a grand total of 18 out of 20. Very high marks. Tough competition for Epica. Who are the other band now? Mark Jansen left After Forever in 2002, and he formed this band Epica, again with the gothic tendencies, with the sound of death metal, but they did start to go into more progressive metal. But they're a good band. I like these bands, and of course it's got the wonderful Simone Simons on lead vocals. So their debut album was called The Phantom Agony, and it was released in 2003, and it has got continues with the Jansen's Embrace that Smothers that he did on Prisoners of Desire. So the band at the time were Simone Simons on lead vocals, Mark Jansen rhythm, guitar, grunts and screams, Adyta on lead guitar, Cohen Jansen on synths and pianos, Yves Hertz on bass, Joran Simons on drums. So the first track on here is called Adyta, and in brackets the Neverending Embrace. Again, it's one of the sort of intros, very similar to the Start to After Forever album. A really good track. Then that goes into Sensorium. I love the start of this. That keyboards is fantastic. The riffs from the guitars of Ad and Mark, and then Simone. Another great singer of this genre. Absolutely killer vocal from Simone. Brilliant track. Then we get Cry for the Moon, which is the Embrace that Smothers part number 4. We continue on with that theme that was on the After Forever album, and it is good. The drumming is great. The beat are meaty. The bass is not as meaty as the After Forever, but it's great. The bit of grunt in there from Mark. Pretty solid track. I do like it. Then we get my favourite on here, and it's called Feint. And I'll just love Simone's vocal on this. It's absolutely spellbinding. Absolutely terrific. Then we get Illusive Consensus. It's got that lovely power symphonic metal drumming, the roll in the double bass. The choral sounds are in this. It's a fine vocal again. It is absolutely another killer track. Then we get Façade of Reality, which is the Embrace of Smothers part number 5. All the grunts on there are there, and you can understand Mark's grunts. Some bands that do grunts, you just can't understand what they're saying, but at least you can understand what Mark is saying. And again, it's like when he was working with Flora in After Forever, the chalk and cheese of Mark and Simone work. I love this. He's really got an incredible grunt. You look at him, you think, where does he get that? It's from right inside the bowels of his belly, them grunts. And then you get Angelic Simone again, absolutely brilliant. There's some spoken word on it. I just love that track. Run for a Fall, another great vocal from Simone, so angelic on this. Lovely. Seif Aldin, which is the Embrace Smothers part number 6. I'm not as keen on this one. It's the same. Okay, you've got to have the same sort of theme, I suppose, but it just lacks a little bit something. It's the last part, and it sounds like the last part. It really falls a little bit flat in places, but Simone still sounds great on it. That's the only thing. Then we have the Phantom Agony, which is split into three parts: Impassive Thoughts, Between Hope and Nevermore. Great track. Bit of an epic. Got high moods, low moods, gentle stuff, grunty, heavy stuff. It's just another epic little track. Okay, another album I absolutely love. Simone. When you put Simone against Floor, two very good singers. There's not much between them, you know. Wafer thin mint, as quoted from Monty Python. But Mark is a great guitar player. I really like his work. I mean, I've listened to a lot of his stuff, especially with Epica. He's just great, and he's a grunter, but he's a grunter that you can understand, and there's a skill in his grunting. Absolutely fantastic. Again, not much written about them, which it really is. It didn't chart, but there are the ratings. All Music gave it a 2 and a bit. Sea of Tranquility, it's another great station. Station. Led by Mr. Pete Pardo. I don't know who wrote the thing, but they gave it 4 stars out of 5. Well done, chaps. Musical Discoveries gave it 5. Metal Ship gave it a 4 out of 10. Lords of Metal gave it a 9.5 out of 10. Metal Reviews gave it a 9 as well. So let's have a look at the nuts and bolts of the Phantom Agony. Song quality, very good, but I think to carry on this embrace of Smothers, I don't think they're as good as the ones on the After Forever. They're still good tracks, but they're not got the same power as they did on Prison of Desire. So I'm going to give that a 4 out of 5. Production. Great production again. There's everything you need in there. It sounds well structured and it sounds great. Sounds great under headphones, like all symphonic metal does. So I'm going to give that a 5 out of 5. Reception. There's a few more reviews on this, and Epica are a very popular band. Their albums are very consistent, and they're a big band. And so I'm going to give that a 4 out of 5. Cover design. Again, we've got a fantastic cover. But why put the white in the name? It just doesn't show properly. It's such a shame. That needs to be more bolder, epic. I just don't know what colour would stand out. It doesn't need to be white. It needs to be a light colour, but a bit of darkness in there. So I'm going to give that a 4 out of 5 as well. So for the Phantom Agony by Epica gives us a total of 17 out of 20. So points wise, it goes to After Forever. Oh, there's not much difference between these though. It's just to this cover design for me, really. So one of the things that really, it's hard. It's this was always going to be tricky, and although I've sort of written bit notes for this, I still don't really know which one. Oh, let's have a look. I think the bass lines in the After Forever are a bit meaty. And out of Simone and Floor. Floor's got a more operatic range than Simone. So I'm going to give this one to After Forever, I think. By that much. That's because I love both these albums. So today's winner is going to be The Prisoner of Desire by After Forever. Okay, I will put a few of their songs, and I shall put the links in again like I did last week, so you can go and have a real good listen. And it's you to decide which of these great symphonic bands from Holland that you prefer. So it'll be in the community, the poll. The poll will be up on live stream tonight. Sorry, I had a mental block there. So, I'm looking forward to see what you think. Of course, you may well think this maybe as these two bands have got some great albums, and do you think they're worthy of putting in a battle royale? Find the greatest album as voted by you. There's the little thumbnail. Go and put any album, doesn't have to be these, any album of your choice in there. Always have a backup, because we're now getting to the stage where people put some great albums in. So before you think, go and check what other people have put in. You've got till the 17th of September, so you've got over a month before it closes. We're getting a nice selection now. I'm looking forward to that. Dave and I will make a video draw. Well, we're not quite sure how we're doing it yet, but we'll come up with something. And then we start the battles. We'll start on the 5th of October. Okay, that's all for this. I'll be back later with Pick and Mix, and we're going to take a trip down memory lane today. And we're going to look at the top 10 singles in the UK on the 10th of August 1960. So I'm looking forward to that one. So bye for now.